What, Sam, what have you enjoyed most about this whole election process? What's kind of been one of those eye openers that said, I really enjoyed this?
Honestly, with people. Uh, I didn't do well in the primary. And the reason I didn't do well was I didn't go out, I didn't do anything. And I caught all kinds of things on that. But people yelled at me from one end to the other, and they said, I won't vote for you because you don't go out and work. So I changed, and I went out. And I've been walking neighborhoods, and I have enjoyed every minute of that. Knock on the door, people have been very gracious. I don't like campaigning. I really do not. I don't like asking for money, and I don't like hawking brochures. Which, by the way, I've got a few leave for it. See, I mean, you get into this thing, and after a bit, it becomes part of your life. But I have enjoyed the people tremendously, and I find that that is me no matter where I go. That's why I do what I work. I don't. It's because I love doing it. I'm around people, and I enjoy it. I miss at the university most. I miss the students. I used to have dinner with them at a dormitory 2 or 3 times a week. I enjoy it. And I learned a lot. A couple of things that I learned. One, they just want somebody to listen to them. I found that out. I was sitting at the table, I just listened to them, they felt better. But secondly, they don't like to be hassled. And I said, look, let's understand something. If you break the law, what you call hassling, we call breaking the law, and so we'll take it. And they said, that's not what we're talking about. They said, we get hassled because we're standing on a corner, we're not doing anything. I said, okay. We can be more sensitive, and I've talked about that with respect to our policing. We can be more sensitive to that. Don't give up on the law, but you don't have to hassle these kids. But the point is, you learn a great deal from sitting with them and talking with them. I absolutely enjoyed that very, very much. And I think that's what brought me into doing this. I missed that. I really did.
When you go door to door, what do the people tell you they're most concerned about? Is it crime or what is it?
Actually, I found that they're just too gracious to get into that. First of all, they're surprised to see me. Because you guys have helped. I'm a fairly well-known face in the community. And say, oh, there you are. They are worried about the economy, mostly the economy. They're worried about crime. They really are. And they talk to me about it. What are you going to do about that? They worry about the status of the university and what is happening there. University, I always say that the university is one of the greatest spectator sports around because you just sit around and watch the administration struggle with what they're supposed to be doing. And that includes me. I'm not being critical of anybody. That includes me. But they're worried about the university. They think that we depend on the university so much, and it's not doing well. It's like a child who's sick. They're worried about that. They're worried about crime. They're worried about that very, very much. And so they look you in the eye and they say, "Are you the guy who can solve this?" That's what the whole message is all about. That's what it means going door to door and knocking. It's not just knocking and handing them something. Many of them look you in the eye, and when they ask you stuff, they're really saying, "Are you the person who can solve this?" That's very important to them. They want somebody to do that.
What's your solution to crime?
I think, first of all, you start with well-trained police force. You make sure that they're very well-trained. Secondly, you work with your neighborhood watch groups and you make sure that they understand what a neighborhood can do in terms of preventing crime. I would like to get our police force out of the cars and walk in the neighborhoods. And if we possibly can, do that. I see what happened on our campus. We put some of those guys on bicycles. It meant a great deal. They could talk to the students. They could get off the bike and talk to somebody. I would like to see that. I would like to see them get out of the cars and walk the neighborhoods. And I intend to talk to the chief about that a little later on, if I'm elected. That we've got to get them into the neighborhood. Because so long as people are able to identify with the police, remember, maybe this is nostalgic, but the cop who would stop and steal an apple or something, and we get a chance to talk to him. That means a great deal. It means a great deal to the comfort of the people, to their feelings of security. And if we get people out on the street and a police presence out on the street where people can see a uniformed policeman and say hello, talk to them, get to know them. I think that would mean a lot.
Another part of that community police presence, and we're running short on time here, is police who live in neighborhoods within the city. Now, most of the police officers in Carbondale, I don't believe actually live within the city limits.
Many don't.
And to anyone that's ever lived with a police officer in the neighborhood, you know what I'm talking about. It's the best. How do we get our officers living in the city? Do we need a residency requirement, or is there some sort of incentive thing, or how do you do it?
My guess is that it'd probably be illegal and unconstitutional to force them to live there. I think you'd be fighting a real uphill battle there. Incentives, however. We do it with emergency people. We mandate that emergency people live in the city. They can't go anywhere else because of, by definition. I think that we should encourage our local police and our firefighters to live in the city. Not mandated. I don't think we could survive a court test. Even so, people should live where they want to. But if we provide incentives for them to live in a neighborhood, to live in a to be part of that, I think that would be a very long way to go in helping people feel better about their neighborhoods and about the police, incidentally, to feel good about them, who they are, and how they function.
I think we're about at the time when we agreed to call it to a halt. If we have any remaining questions, that would be good. Or if you'd like to say anything in summation, it's your chance.
Let me just make the strong point which says that Carbondale is at the proverbial crossroads right now. And whichever direction it goes, the future generations are going to have to live with it. That's why this election is so crucial. That's why we've got to make sure that we elect a mayor and a council who are not either ego-centered or community-centered in their own community. I'll take care of my community, I don't care about the rest of it. We've got to get people to be able to see the bigger picture of this city, to see where it is. Most of all, where is this city? Before you can get a picture of, well, where do we want to go and what's the gap between where we want to go and where we are. This is a crucial election. If we choose wrong, and it is possible we're going to do that, I fear that. That's my bias. But if we choose wrong, Carbondale will have a difficult time recovering. And it's like a golfer. You have to unlearn your bad habits before you can learn the good habits. And if Carbondale has to unlearn bad mistakes before it learns the good path, it's not good. It's not a good idea. So I don't know how people can be oppressed with the notion of how crucial this election is. Now, I know I've heard that people say, well, you know, the reason I'm voting for so-and-so, he's a member of my church. Fair enough. Is that going to solve Cardinal's problems? I don't think so. And that concerns me. That concerns me a lot. People need to weigh in very carefully. Take a look, and then, of course, vote. But this is a very crucial election. I want to really keep saying, if we make the wrong choices, you guys are going to be very busy. And thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank you,
your
Dr.
willingness to serve.